Most people live in fear of the next market crash. They read headlines. They watch CNBC. They freeze their money until things calm down. But the rich? They don't fear crashes. They win by betting on the future and protecting themselves if it doesn't work out. Let me tell you a quick story. In 2018, Mark, a mid-level engineer in Ohio, pulled all his 401k into a savings account because a big recession was coming. Today, that cash is worth less. And the crash never came. Meanwhile, his neighbor kept investing through every dip and quietly doubled his net worth. The middle class loves fear. They share YouTube videos about economic collapse. They hold cash waiting for a 40% dip. They read every article that confirms their panic. But here's the truth. Nobody gets rich waiting for the sky to fall. Crashes are loud, but wealth is built in silence. The wealthy don't get rich by avoiding risk. They get rich because they believe in progress. They believe that in the long run, innovation, population growth, productivity, and time are on their side. It's what financial historians call rational optimism. And if you look at over 100 years of data, from the US, UK, Sweden, Japan, one thing is clear. Those who bet on the future won. But the rich don't just bet blindly. They prepare. Let's make one thing clear. Rich people don't win because they're better at predicting crashes. They win because they structure their lives, so they're never forced out of game. They follow something called the barbell strategy. 90% of their wealth in safe, boring, resilient stuff. Bonds, cash, real estate, index funds. 10% in high-risk, high-reward opportunities. Startups, crypto, private equity. Ideas with asymmetric upside. They aren't playing to win the lottery. They're playing to never go broke. In 2008, while everyone was panicking, Warren Buffett wrote a New York Times op-ed that said, "I'm buying American stocks." Not because he had a crystal ball, but because he had liquidity, courage, and a belief that the system would recover. It did, and he made billions. When COVID hit, Amazon shares dropped 20% in a week. Most people fled the market, but those who kept investing or bought the dip saw their money double in 18 months. Again, not because they were geniuses, but because they had faith in recovery and a plan that didn't depend on perfection. Here's the paradox. The rich build structures that can survive chaos, but they invest with the belief that things will eventually improve. That's the game. Not avoiding every crash, but surviving. They don't react to headlines. They don't wait for Jerome Powell. They build systems, so they never have to panic. Let's go back to Mark, our engineer. His biggest mistake wasn't pulling his money. It was thinking he needed to know what's going to happen next. He thought the game was about timing. But timing the market is a myth. Even professionals fail at it. What works is consistency, faith in long-term growth, and a portfolio designed to never kick you out during storms. They don't just save. They hold reserves for opportunity, not just emergencies. They diversify. They stay liquid when others get greedy. They buy quality when others sell in fear. And above all, they never invest with money they can't afford to lose. That's how they protect their upside and their peace of mind. In every major crisis, two groups emerge. Those who froze and regretted it later. Those who positioned and got rich quietly. 2000, 2008, 2020. Different crashes. Same lesson. The rich don't need to be right about the news. They just need to never be forced to sell at the bottom. Because when the dust settles, progress resumes, and those who stayed in the game win. So ask yourself, are you building a system that depends on knowing the future, or one that thrives regardless of what comes? If this video opened your eyes, like it, subscribe, and share with a friend who keeps waiting for the perfect moment. Because the future won't wait, and the wealthy, they already moved.